Welcome back to Season 6 of the Changing Earth podcast with author Sara F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson. Blending survival, fiction, and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sara F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. Today is episode number 204, Season 6, Episode 4. Hey Chen, how is it going?
Hey, chin's up. Going good.
All right. So it's hot here now in California. It absolutely just turned really quick on us. So
Summertime.
yeah, there was like no in between this year. It was like, went from 50 to, well, not 50. I'm exaggerating a little bit maybe, but like 70 to 90.
I've seen like pictures of people posting pictures of snow and stuff. Well, last week and week before.
Yeah. On June 2nd, we were still getting hail up in the mountains and stuff. And now it's like 90 to 95 degrees. We're going into the hundreds next week. It's crazy. So we have our wildfire threat. I'm sure everybody knows that California has been burning up. And our power company decided that whenever it's too hot or too windy, they're going to be shutting down our power. So that's kind of exciting. So
is there anything people can do to prepare for that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe have a lights out kit, possibly. You know, everybody's freaking out. They're worried about being prepared. I'm like, I'm all ready for it.
Got my tinfoil hat on.
Yep.
Call me crazy.
I'm ready all the time. But, you know, making sure the water filter's all the way filled up. We got, make sure we have extra batteries in the house. I don't do rechargeable. I don't know. I'm just dumb that way.
You're on well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're on a well. But we have a big, huge holding tank at the top of our hill. And so we actually can use about 500 more gallons of water even when the power goes out. So,
wow.
Yeah. And then we have propane. We have a propane generator. So
that's a lot more than I got set back.
Yeah. And then I have the little Doughboy pool. It's just 3 feet tall, 10 by 10, and it holds like 3,000 gallons of water. So it's a great little water storage place, for that extra bit if you had to, like long term. So.
Well, I don't have to worry about it. I'm on like city water, so they'll take care of me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
just
I don't have to worry.
Trust in the municipality to take care of you when you need it.
That's my plan.
Because their water never goes bad. Ever. Storing water's tough, though. So what's been going on in Chinland?
Can you hear the frogs in the background? We just had a thunderstorm. So nice. I was wondering if I was actually going to be able to do this, but it worked. So
sweet.
I have a cool old pickup truck that I'm working on, and I installed some bucket seats in it. My wife and I took it out for a Sunday drive today, so that was fun.
Nice. And you didn't hit the ejection seat on her?
Yeah. I sent you some pictures of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool seats with a 5-foot harness.
Yeah.
You and Sticks both said the same thing. Are those ejection?
I was like, I'm done. Don't be talking that way, honey. Poof.
No, they are so cool, man. It's fun.
No, it looks nice. And it was purring like a kitten, too. Yeah. So, you think diesel's going to be easier for a bug-out vehicle than regular gasoline?
No, I don't know. I mean, look at all the truck stops and stuff, right? So, who knows, right?
And can't you use more of like ethanol type fuels?
I can stop at McDonald's and empty out the fry valve.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, those are more compatible, I think, with diesel than unleaded vehicles. Yeah. So good pick.
And it doesn't have to. It's got no computer, so it's all. It doesn't have like points and stuff to get fried. So I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. But it's fun. It's a fun project. So
yeah, that's awesome.
We bought it to go camping. We used it at Prepper Camp last year instead of having to sleep in a tent with the bears.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show. I had a little bear visitation last night, so that was fun.
We had so much fun before the show.
I know. So subscribers, go on over there and listen to your bonus audio because it's some good stuff this week. So, well, let's talk about last week. We visited with Erica, and her world's not going very well, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's the beginning of the story with her and Swenson there, the awesome character that he is. He's such an upstanding guy, you know.
Oh, and who, the lady who was the lady? Dolores, yeah. Oh, I felt so bad for her.
Right? I know. I almost felt bad writing that part, and then I'm like, no, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Great. This is good
great
stuff. Rubbing your hand.
Trauma. Yeah.
You do a little pinky in the side of your mouth.
Thinking man pose.
Yeah.
So this week, we're catching up with Vince finally, so we get to see what's happening with him. And they're traveling south. So in the end of Dark Days in Denver, they were just leaving Denver, headed south. So we're going to catch up there. And let's not spill any beans.
I didn't see anything.
I can feel it on the other side, like, ooh.
You have an inside track on this?
Uh-huh, yep. All right, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into Chapter 4 of The Endless Night. Chapter 4. The evening of September 12th. Gear Tyson drove the truck down the highway. His dark brown eyes were heavy with concern, and his face scowled behind his full beard and mustache. As he stared at the highway, the old signs indicated they were almost to Texas. How long do you think their SUV lasted in the ash? Greg Sherman wondered from the rear of the truck. His chestnut eyes displayed the same troubled expression. We had the new air systems too, but the ash took them all down. They couldn't have made it far, Nicholton informed him. Patrick Bennett looked at his longtime friend Ben Nicholton as he spoke. Nicholton was a square guy who looked like he belonged in fatigues. His hair was cut short in a classic military style, and his ears stuck off the sides of his chiseled chin line. Bennett couldn't believe he had left his position within the mercenary army to come with him, but he was sure thankful that Nicholton did. Bennett rubbed his hand over his bald head as he watched Vince Moore lost in thought, staring out the window. His curly hair was tucked under a ball cap, and his son, Daniel, sat at his side with a matching bewildered expression. Bennett noticed that Daniel's blonde hair was coated with dirt from days of living on the edge of survival. He loved the Moore family like they were his own, and his heart was breaking to watch them in agony. He tried to hide his emotions so he could keep them focused, a skill he learned while working for the federal forces. That was over now. He left the feds to join the Mercs long ago, and now he'd left the Mercs too in hopes of saving his friend Erica Moore. I bet they crossed the Ogallala by now, Cole Vergis admitted sadly, worry lines upsetting his normal baby-faced expression. From the northern crossing, it's only a couple of miles into federal territory, Nicholton added. Greg watched his friends solemnly bouncing along. He grew up with Vince and Erica when they were kids. After surviving the aftermath of the Great Quake in California together, they stayed together in the Las Vegas camp. He scooted over by Vince and Daniel, putting an arm around them. We'll get her back, guys. Vince's body was recovering rapidly. The pain of taking 2 bullets at point-blank range, even with ballistics gear on, was enough to incapacitate any man. His love for Erica seemed to heal him from the inside out. His thoughts dwelled on her constantly. He didn't even want to imagine the horrors she was facing alone. She saw him get shot, and Vince knew she would think he was dead. Live together, die together. Vince thought of a saying they lived by, hoping she would not hurt herself. Trying to picture her smiling face, all he could see was her brown eyes staring back at him from a lifeless body, her face covered in blood, and her brown hair strewn about it. He shook the thought from his head. Suddenly, Gear pulled the vehicle to a stop. The headlights came to rest on a black SUV. What was that plate number, Ben? Bennett asked Nicholton as he looked out the windshield. Colorado plate number GKT680, Nicholton told him. Is that it? Greg asked, popping his head through the back window so he could get a better look. It is, Bennett confirmed, exiting the truck. Everyone piled out. Nancy was fluffing her short gray hair as she chatted with Greg's wife, Penny. Penny's golden curls bounced as her green eyes looked at the vehicle. I need to use the restroom, Nancy said, heading off to find a bush. I need to go too, Grandma, Star interjected, following the older woman out of the truck. She stood tall above her and her sky blue eyes sparkled, hiding the overwhelming pain of loss she was feeling. Me too, Penny concluded. I might as well take the opportunity too, Victoria announced. She was confident that there was no one in the vehicle and there were more than enough guys to handle it, even if there was. The rain helped to keep her brown hair tamed as she retied her ponytail. She carried a rifle slung over her shoulder just in case. I gotta go too, Ned declared, adjusting the headband he normally wore over his short chestnut-colored hair. He was still limping from the bullet he took to his leg in Denver. Boys to the left, girls to the right, Victoria told him as they headed off. Gear and Graham joined Ned with Greg. Gear and Graham could have been brothers. They both wore their hair long and had full beards. Gear's eyes were a striking blue that matched the color in his tattoo of a man with a hammer that he had on his arm. Nicholton, Burgess, and Bennett went with Vince to check out the vehicle. They approached it cautiously, even though its doors were open. Vince poked his head into it, noticing that someone had already pillaged the vehicle. Shining his flashlight in the back seat, he scanned for evidence, knowing that's where they would have put Erica. She was bleeding, he said, his heart dropping. Look at that, Cole commented, shining his flashlight at the seat. It almost looks like a T. Vince shook his head in despair. Cole, Bennett cracked at him, noticing Vince's reaction. I'm sorry, it's just strange. It's not a circular blob on the seat. That bloodstain has a definite T pattern. Maybe it means something. And it's definitely not a bullet wound. It came from her back. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made such a perfect pattern, he said, analyzing the mark. Nicholton was checking the vehicle for anything that they could use to identify these men, but it was stripped clean. Vince walked up and down the street looking for any clue that she might have left them, but there was nothing. How's it going? Bennett asked, returning to the truck. Gear and Graham's heads were stuffed inside the hood, working away. She'll be fine, Gear commented. This rain has made the roads a mess, but the filters are running top-notch without the dust in the air. Come on, Vince. You're not going to find anything in this rain, Burgess advised him, as the rest of the crew loaded back into the truck. She would have left us something, some kind of a sign if she was conscious, Vince worried as he joined Burgess. They drove on through the night. The road was a maze of broken-down cars. By the time the orange ball appeared casting a dim light on the earth, they were just arriving at a sleepy little town. You guys want to eat some chow? Bennett asked, waking most of them up. Greg opened his eyes and saw Vince still staring blankly out the window. Looks like the rain has stopped, he commented to Vince. Gear replied instead, Yeah, and the ash didn't get as thick down here. He pulled the truck into town and found a place nestled amongst some buildings to set up a kitchen and make some food. Everyone unloaded from the vehicle again, eager to stretch their legs. As they were unpacking supplies, a group of men showed up. How you doing today, fellas? One of the men asked as the group approached. Just fine yourselves, Bennett replied. Nicholton and Burgess stepped to one side of him, and Gear and Graham went to the other. They were a formidable wall of muscle. Good. Just checking to see if you were low on any supplies, the man requested politely as his men backed off. No, we're all set here, Bennett told him. As the men walked away, Burgess and Nicholton made eye contact. Burgess circled his finger, indicating the need to set up a perimeter patrol. Victoria and Greg joined them as they took first watch. There's a nice pit here, Nancy commented. I'll help you clean it out, Grandma, Daniel volunteered, unfolding a camp shovel. Do we have any of those fresh greens left? Star asked Penny. One more meal's worth, and they're getting all wilted. We might as well eat them up, Penny replied, digging the greens out of the bag. You guys want them cooked with the wild onions or fresh on the meat? Star asked the group. Let's just throw it all in a stew so we don't have to stop again later, Vince advised her. Boring old survival stew, Daniel teased. It kept us fed in Montana, Vince noted. Can't beat Star's rabbit stew, Bennett commented, laughing heartily. As long as Bennett passes out gas masks first, Daniel teased. The comment about the mask made Vince think about the last time he saw Erica. She was wearing a gas mask in the Denver battle. They probably made it across the Ogallala by now, don't you think? Penny asked Bennett while she set the water to boil. I'd say so, Bennett replied. Although they did have to walk a long way. Their vehicle broke down before the Texas border. What if they got a ride? Nancy pondered. The ash took out most of the vehicles. That one was even specially engineered to function during the eruption, Bennett countered. My mom can walk really far, Daniel interjected, remembering a trip they made up the new western coastline and across Montana while they were still on the run from the feds. How do you think that blood got on the seat? Starr asked Bennett for his opinion. Vince couldn't take their endless chatter anymore. He walked away with a roll of toilet paper. No one would try to make him rejoin the group if they knew he had business to take care of. There was a large tree in the campsite with scratch marks around its base. He thought back to the days before the quake, camping with Erica. It would have been a perfect spot to tie a dog up for the night. He headed out behind one of the abandoned buildings to find a private space. He arrived in an area between the building and a forest. It looked like a nice area to dig a hole and relieve himself. He folded out a camp shovel and dug the hole. During his shoveling, he noticed that the window on the back of the building was broken, and large shards of glass faintly sparkled in the dim light. The sill under the window was stained with blood droplets. He mumbled, pondering what happened here. Squatting over the hole, he stared at a post that stood concreted into the ground. He spied a small piece of material that was tied around it. The olive color reminded him of the last morning he and Erica spent together in their tent. He pictured her standing there in her tank top and camo pants. He couldn't help but grin, thinking of the smile that she saved just for him. Her beautiful brown eyes and the bouncing ponytail she always wore were a memory he welcomed. Finishing up his business and covering the hole, he went to retrieve the piece of material that sparked the memory. He untied it from the pole and studied it carefully. There was blood on it, and although the recent rain had obscured them slightly, he swore the initials said EM. He ran triumphantly back to the camp. Food's ready, Dad, Starr told him as he entered. Look, a message from Erica, he declared, holding up the material. Alrighty, so as the team prepares this meal, Vince finds this token from Erica. And
he made a run with the teepee.
Yep, the teepee run. Yeah, I remember you were texting me. Oh, I love that one. Like the reality of it. No, and Brock's always like, oh, yeah, sure, he'd find the token out there, you know. Oh, yeah, sure, it's from Erica. Like, man,
hey,
it's
you're
all
a
about
writer.
hope.
You can write whatever you want.
That's right. It's all about hope, like having hope that maybe she is still alive kind of thing, or else.
That and the tea blood stain in the back seat of the SUV.
Yeah.
That was cool. I like that.
Right? Because I was thinking about, like, if she was shot, then it would be like it would pool. If she was losing more blood, it would have pooled down, like, you know, on her butt, basically, you know, on the back, right?
That freaking TJ, man.
Yeah. Yeah, she earned her tea. So, yeah, that'll come back to haunt him. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, if you don't know.
It's not like I'm the author or something.
No, but that was good. Like, he found that scrap of fabric with what he thought was the EM on it, initials. And you could see that there was hope. Finally, some hope in this book, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because this book, you know, I had to keep Vince's side kind of light, even though he's, like, emotionally struggling.
Yeah.
So, you know, the other characters.
Well, they all are, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Everybody's kind of bent on that one. Well, who wouldn't be? And the other part that I liked, real quick before we get into the topic for today, when the guys, you know, the guys that came up and in Dark Days in Denver, those guys came up to Swenson and them and were giving them a hard time over Erica. And that's how Erica made her escape that time.
Let's see if they need anything.
Right? And they're like this wall of like huge dudes. Take care, man. You guys look like you're all set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like that one too. Topic for today, we're going into traveling food because they're traveling along. They're making their survival stews. You know, you don't have...
Daniel dropped the survival stew comment.
The rabbit stew.
Hey, it's true though. When you're not used to it, right? All these like prepper meals and camping meals, it's not your standard food.
Right. Messes your guts all up.
You might have some issues.
You found some great articles this week on backpacking food and things like that. So
yeah, when you're talking survival food, I was like, I just took the easy route out. I Googled hiking.
Right. What do you carry with you?
The whole thing about hiking is they want high calories, good nutrition, lightweight, and easy to make, right? So
exactly.
That's like exactly what you would want from, if you were having to leave your house because of a bad situation.
Right. And no refrigeration. You got to have something that you can carry without, keeping it cold. I found out on my trip to Vegas, because I thought there would be a refrigerator in the hotel room we got, but we went like super cheap and there was no refrigerator. And I took my chia and Ripple. It turned into some kind of an interesting fermentation
science project.
Yeah. So, that's a big deal. And
I know we've talked about this before, but like the wife and I went to Cumberland Island for a week, primitive camping. And that's what I planned the whole thing with, not having to, because there's a ferry that comes every day and you could restock with ice if you wanted to. But I'm like, no, we're going to live a week without ice. But we did take an afternoon walk and get a pop.
There you go.
For a little treat. Most every day, but yeah.
A pop. I love it.
Nice cold soda. Yeah.
Yeah. I just go with soda pop when I'm traveling. That way I cover both. Yeah. So they talk a lot about the calorie to ounce ratio, because if it's not worth carrying it, then what's the point? So I liked that aspect of it as well. And then variety. So I'm going to add to it at the end with some survival tips. Because, there's a little bit of different aspects you got to think of if you're just planning on going for a week, or if it's like, this is it, I'm walking out my door with this food.
Yep.
Let's get into breakfast. I like the instant oatmeal idea.
Yep, we did a lot of that.
Yeah, the instant oatmeal.
And it's cheap. It's lightweight, fairly. The only thing with that is you have a container, right? So the oatmeal, you can't eat it out of that paper bag thing.
It's true. They were talking about the lady that wrote, she's usually a recipe lady, but put together this article on Yummy Life, and I'll link it on our blog page. But she was saying if you put it in the freezer Ziploc bags, you can actually pour the hot water directly into the freezer Ziploc bag. I'm pretty impressed. I'm like, actually, I want to try that because...
Yeah,
really?
But you're not going to have a freezer. When do you put it in the freezer?
No, well, you put it in a freezer Ziploc bag before you leave from home, right?
Yeah.
And then you can just pour the hot water right in there. I'm like, really?
Yeah. I was going to ask if you tried that yet, because I've gotten the like Mountain House stuff, which is awesome because you can just pour the water in the bag, shake it up, wait 5-10 minutes or whatever it is, and then you can eat right out of it. So you don't have to have dishes, clean up. I mean, you have trash, so
yeah, you got to pack your trash out.
A good hiker, you got to pack it out, or in a survival situation where you're going to bury it so it doesn't leave signs. Yeah.
So then, in the oatmeal too, she did like her own dried berries and nuts in there, which is really cool because you never know what the nutritional value of well, I guess you can read the label on the oatmeal one, but if you do it yourself, it's going to be more nutritious. So that's the old right. What did they say? The calorie to ounce ratio.
Yeah. And I like maple and brown sugar, right? That's like my favorite.
Me too.
Package. Yep. Yeah. But you could add berries or, nuts or whatever to it, which would increase the calories, increase the,
And you can put some brown sugar in there. That's totally okay when you're hiking that much or in a bug out situation, because you need that extra boost too.
Yeah. Did you see the calorie counts they were talking about?
Yeah.
Like
really high.
400 to 600 calories per hour if you're hiking.
Yeah, exactly. So now you're in a bug out situation and you'd have all that stress. Like when you're hiking and doing a backpack trip, it's like, oh, yay, we're hiking and doing a backpack trip. But if you're like bugging out or evacuation scenario, your body's going to be burning even more because of that stress that you're under. And I like the instant coffee or tea bag idea. My husband is the coffee lover. So, I stock coffee like crazy because I'm like, he's never running out of coffee. He'd be an animal.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that. We pack a lot of tea bags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can get coffee in like tea bag size.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The instant.
Yep.
Another article talked about grits is an okay thing to carry. Cooks pretty fast, same way. And then powder.
You have to have heavy cream, right?
You can get powdered cream, and then just
that's a good thought.
Prepare it. Yeah.
I wonder how that would turn out.
I don't know. I don't eat grits very much.
Dale and Lisa to try that.
Yeah, right.
They'll be our Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey will try it.
Ogston Farms. Lisa will probably be like, "Oh, I've already bought the grits with the pre-hydrated milk in it." For sure. So, but that brings it into, powdered meals. The freeze-dried Mountain House packs, I'm not sure about Mountain House specifically, and I don't want to name their brand on this. I'm just going to say on average, they're a lot higher sodium count.
Yeah.
When you buy products individually or you put them together yourself. And that sodium is, you need salt. However, you're going to have to drink a ton of water.
Right.
For eating all those prepackaged meals. So I think it's a better idea to start thinking about it now and figuring out things that you can make yourself.
That's what I was intrigued with this make it yourself backpack meals. Because we did notice that when we were out for that week, how much salt was in everything, and between salt and sugar, they laced everything with salt and sugar.
And then it just starts wearing on your body, like your digestion system.
So, give me a Pop-Tart, man. I'll eat those.
And then granola. I mean, I'm a granola fan. So that's a good one.
We pack those all the time. I mean, they're in the car, center console. They're
right. We're going to the river or stuff like that. We got everywhere. Granola.
Yeah.
Yep.
You won't get a hangry. You got to feed the hangry.
Yep. Like the Snickers commercial.
It's true.
It is. So lunch, summer sausage, woot woot. I'm a fan. Love summer sausage, like completely. So I'm sold on that one.
Do you do your own? Have you ever made your own sausage?
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, that's something I want to try. I got a couple of books on it. I want to try that. Oh man, the first time I ever had the first sausage that I recall was when I shot my first deer, and then they made some sausage for me.
Yeah,
that was
so good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with venison sausage.
Ruined me on that store-bought stuff.
Yeah, it totally does. That's why it's like summer sausage. I'm a fan. They talk about hard cheeses too, like Laughing Cow cheese. And that's something, I mean, I carry that when we go to the river, when we're traveling. That's already a staple for us.
Little red wax?
The Laughing Cow. Yeah, the red wax one I think is the Baby Bell, and I really don't like Baby Bell.
Oh.
I don't know why. I just really don't like it. But if you get a really hard cheese, it doesn't need to be refrigerated. It's already basically there. It's already
add that to my repertoire.
Yeah. And it's so when you're really hungry, something you have to chew on longer is not always a bad thing because it makes you feel fuller, I guess.
Hey, have you noticed that if you eat good food, the right foods, it quenches your hunger better than if you eat this junk food?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and cheese is one of those that can really pack you up. You don't want to overdo it for sure. But and then beef jerky. Again, staple for us. But man, have you noticed how expensive beef jerky is lately?
Yeah, I'm not a big beef jerky fan.
Oh, okay.
My wife loves it, but isn't that kind of salty too? Well, it depends.
It is a little bit salty. Yeah, and it depends on what flavor profile you buy.
Yeah.
But you want one that's kind of dry and stuff because if it's like a really moist one and that, they still go bad. Like it will go bad, but it takes longer for beef jerky to go bad. And basically the drier and saltier it is, the longer it takes to go bad.
Yeah, we've had some. I've bought it for like camping trips and stuff. It depends on which one you get. It's good, but
Well, you can make it into the pemmican bars too.
I
And
haven't
that's
done
kind
that.
of the way to go. So
I need to step up my game. I need to start making this stuff.
yeah, right. I know, like with all the time. Tuna and salmon packs, great.
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
are
that's
great.
awesome.
Yep,
I
got those.
just do canned tuna, honestly. I know it's more weight, and the
But
packs
the
would probably
packs
be
are
way better.
convenient now.
Yep.
You don't have to have a little can opener. Well, do you have the can opener with the flip top?
Yeah, the what do they call it? A BR82 or something. You know, the one that
No, I mean there's some with the old fashioned can thing.
oh, the key?
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
No.
It's just the turn up.
you
the
have to open it with a
pull
can
it off.
opener.
Yeah.
That's why the foil wrap packages are so nice,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get them in all different flavors, like what is it? Lemon pepper and ranch, and there's all the
I always just
buffalo,
throw a little
like
Italian
buffalo
dressing
chicken
in there.
sauce, but
Oh,
it's already in the package.
yeah. I should do that for work. Like, because I buy like bulk tuna, like 8 cans for whatever. And then I keep rotating my stocks, because that's like good for long-term food supply. But I should do that for work so I have like a healthy lunch. I usually just eat chia. I'm boring.
What's
Lots of
chia? I haven't had that either.
Chia, like, the chia pets, chia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a real seed and it grows into a big old plant that makes lots of seeds. But the seed is a viscous fat burner, and it's super, like, all of its calories are from fiber. And so it's just like this super power food for you. Yeah, so you eat the chia seeds, except you need to soak them overnight to like get the full benefit out of them. And so I put them in Ripple. It's a chickpea milk, and they make a chocolate Ripple, and it turns it into like chocolate pudding.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought you were talking about something in a brown paper bag that the bums drink down at the corner. No. Okay.
Yeah, no. That Ripple is, like the Mad Dog 2020. No. It's like, it has a protein in the chickpea milk though. So it gives you your protein. It turns it into like this chocolate pudding, and then I put almonds and fruit in there, and I eat that like every day.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's super power pack, lots of energy and just good stuff for your system. So. And another article I was looking at was talking about instead of bringing bread, because it's all squishy, you could bring tortillas.
Yep.
I would not mind. That'd be fine with me.
And it's easy, it's the tortilla is kind of like your plate, and you wrap it up and you eat, and they're nice and thin, easy to pack.
Imagine throwing some of your tuna down on that tortilla, roll that sucker up, boop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like going to a food truck in the woods.
Yeah, that would be my idea of like evacuation food. However, like how long would it last?
Yep.
So snacks, the lady who wrote the Yummy article, she talks about the Kind bars. I've never had them.
Yeah, we get them. They sell them at Costco now.
Okay.
They're really good. So like dark chocolate drizzled over nuts. Oh man, it's
not
good
bad.
Stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, so she's got a recipe for making them. She's got a recipe for making a ton of stuff over there. So I really suggest listeners check out that article she wrote. That was really good. But she talks about making homemade ones. I've made them before out of acorns, similar, like a bar like that out of acorn flour. So
yeah, you talked about acorns before in your show.
Yeah, I'm an acorn fan because there's acorns all over North America. And they are a superfood as well. Tons of calories, lots of fat. And if you need the energy, acorns is where it's at. But you have to make sure that you leach them first, or they are poison pellets. So, yeah. But I've done that. And I also make a tea out of them. And it has like a brother to caffeine. It's called like amphetamine or something in it. And it really gets you zooming. And it's great, like, if you didn't have coffee or you didn't have tea and you just wanted something with some good flavor, acorn tea is really good.
Something to think about if it ever comes to it.
Right. Yeah, and you just want, like, that pick-me-up. Oh, man, I got to go out and watch. I need something to, like, get me jazzed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then peanut butter. I stock peanut butter like crazy.
Love peanut butter.
Right? You just have
I have
like
powdered peanut butter in the house just in case.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't. I have I think it's a chocolate pudding that I have. But yeah, I have like just jars of real peanut butter. Because you can like live off like 2 tablespoons.
You stop it too?
You might have to.
You know what's really good? Is a chocolate bar as a spoon.
Like a Hershey's.
Yeah.
Then just spoon that stuff. Oh, that's not a bad idea right there.
Oh man, that's some good stuff right there.
I might have found a new munchie food on this episode. Yeah. The nut and seed bars, that's same as like the Kind bars.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper. I usually just do a mix of salt and pepper and then have it in a container. And that way I don't have like salt and pepper, right?
Yep.
I just mix it myself pre-mix. Another article had fruit leather, which is good stuff. It's all right. You know, the kids like it. Seaweed, which, okay.
Yeah, a couple of people mentioned that too. I haven't tried it really.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have because the sushi gets wrapped in that, right? Isn't that one of the wrappings?
Yeah. And the dry's not bad. Like, so you can just buy like the sheets of seaweed and then put rice on it or whatever yourself and then just eat it, you know, like finger.
Kind of like the same thing with the
like sushi,
tortilla.
but not like yeah. Yes, exactly. And it's good stuff. And it packs really small. I do have to give it that. It would
It's supposed to be high in nourishment, right? High.
Yeah. Yeah. Super nutrients there. And like I said, it packs really small. You can put it like in the back of your pack and just have it there for emergency. Honey, which, okay, sweet treat. You know, they have like little honey packets. And then granola bars again there are things that I picked out. You got any more good snacks for us?
No, I mean, you're stealing all the good ones.
I know. I'm ripping through them.
Granola crackers and chocolate and so squirrel. So because like I was watching all this hiking stuff and then I was watching some YouTube channels about like through hikers on the AT, the Appalachian Trail. They made s'mores, which are like, we love s'mores. They made s'mores and they put fruit in the s'mores. Like they slices of banana or slices of strawberries. Is that
yum?
Like, why didn't I think about that?
Yeah. Hello.
But you know what we make? We make gourmet s'mores. We take you buy the square chocolate in the wrapper, foil wrapper. It's like whatever, caramels, sea salt, nut.
Oh, yeah.
All those. You buy them in a bag, and there's all different foil wrap, individually wrapped.
Like the Ghirardelli ones?
Yeah, those are the ones. So we buy those, and then we use Peeps. You know, like the sugar-coated marshmallow. So caramelize your marshmallow over the fire. Oh, tell you what.
Oh, man.
That's some good eating right there.
I know where I'm coming for dessert if I ever make it to.
Yeah, we are kind of on the verge of calling us glampers.
Yeah, right. The Peep for sure.
The Peep is the way to go, and you buy them like the day after whatever holiday because they make them for every holiday now,
and they last forever.
I posted a picture on Facebook, and we were roasting snowman Peeps.
Nice.
Yeah,
and you can squish them to look like Kim Jong-un.
Wait. That's appetizing? Wait.
Well, I don't know. We did do the Tyrant episode last week.
Yeah. But that is,
that sounds good.
That's it.
That's like the treat. Like, hey, look what I've been saving forever.
Oh, and the graham crackers are cinnamon sugar graham crackers.
Oh, of course, because, I mean, what else would you bring?
So that's a chin s'more.
So let's get into dinner. They have the Mountain House, of course, because you can buy prepackaged meals, and Patriot Supply has good ones, and there's lots of companies that make really good ones. Like I say, be aware of the sodium content in those. If you think it's no big deal, but if you eat that for a few days only, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and some of these blogs are talking about making your own, like doing your own pasta, your own freeze dried,
that's
vegetables and stuff.
the Yummy lady. She had really good recipes for making your own. I was like, wow, you put some thought into this.
Yeah.
But she's a recipe maker, so it's not like that's what she actually does. She puts a lot of thought into recipes all the time. So,
yeah, I got a friend of mine, Granny Pam, who's a speaker at camp. She did a book about meals in a jar, and it's all making your own ingredients. So I picked that up.
If you're bugging in,
because I was thinking, I can make my own backpack meals with her recipes.
Yeah. So if you're bugging in, you do the jar.
Yep.
If you're bugging out, you can do the freezer Ziploc.
Yep.
And you can pour the water right in there. I'm like, that's a great idea.
I need to test that.
I need to test that too, because I read it. I'm like, serious?
Yeah.
The freezer Ziplocs only are the ones that are stout enough to do that.
Yeah.
And they don't have, what's the chemical they have?
Yeah. The ones that you don't buy the water.
BPA. They're BPA free.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and she was saying the Ziploc, a covered bowl, or a soup mug. And, a lot of us are all carrying around the soup mugs. So, I do.
Yeah, but if you're hiking or camping or bugging out, that Ziploc bags are the way.
Okay, so they were talking about for crafting your own, first choose your carb, then choose your veggie and protein, then choose a sauce or seasoning, and then you just combine it, and that's all you have to do. So that sounds pretty easy. So she was saying rice or couscous is something good to use. She recommends the minute rice because it cooks faster. You don't want like 20 minutes of it sitting there waiting, right? And then she recommended the whole wheat because it's more nutritious. However, the white rice is going to soften faster. So I like white rice.
And that's the other good thing about the boil. So you're saving fuel too, or like if you're carrying those little canisters of fuel to cook, those little jet fuel things. Yep. It takes a lot less time just to bring it to boil and then dump it in the bag, and then it cooks the rest of the way without fuel.
Yes. The other thing that I was thinking of, I was going to talk about it once we got into like the survival end of things. If you're cooking food over a fire, it makes a big smell. Yeah. And if you're hungry, you're going to smell that a mile away.
All you crazy authors mention that too.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
like how often do you walk down the street and you're like, ooh, my neighbor's barbecuing?
Yeah, you ever drive by like Burger King and they pipe out the smoke from the flame broiled?
Yep.
It's like, oh man.
One of the bosses I worked for when I worked in the restaurant, he used to make me just put ribs on like our grill area to just burn up and go up the thing. Yeah, so that it smelled like, yummy food.
That's like when you sell a house, you bake cookies.
Right, so it smells good.
Yep.
So, yeah, I was just thinking, hopefully mine doesn't smell like skunk. Damn dogs. So, okay, pasta I thought was pretty interesting because pasta usually takes a while, but a lot of her meals have pasta in it. So she said just look for noodles that are cooking in 4 minutes or less. So the first thing I thought of was angel hair because that's a really fast cooker.
Yeah.
But she was saying that angel hair isn't really a good pick because it might poke through your bag because it's so little and spiky. So I don't know. Maybe if you like crunched it up enough. I really like angel hair, so I got to figure out a way to use angel hair for it.
You gonna put it in one of your books?
Yeah. Oh, I do actually. Well, okay, that's one I haven't gotten to yet, so we'll just leave it there for now.
Almost, guys. We almost got it out of her.
Yeah. That's not even the season. Dehydrated veggies. So some of them are really good. Have you ever had like the peas that have like wasabi?
Yeah, you eat them
on?
like you don't reconstitute them. You eat them like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're awesome.
they are. I was like, this is good. So something like that, very good. I guess they do all kinds. And she was talking about Just Veggies brand. And I guess you can get that all over online. And that's a really good brand, very nutritious, and doesn't have a lot of the salt content in it because they're freeze dried, instead of being, I don't know how else they do it.
But no, I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor. But when we're out there walking and hiking and sweating, aren't we going to need some salt intake?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And you can bring your own salt and pepper shaker.
Yeah.
But a lot of the meats are going to have the salt because they're using the salt to preserve the meats.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying it's not all that bad when you're in this situation.
right. But if you overdose the salt, you're going to have to put a lot of water in your body to make up for that.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she's like freeze dried herbs. So you can use dried herbs. They're a lower cost, but she says the freeze dries are more flavorful. I'm like, yeah, I would just be like dried herbs.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of that
You can get
myself.
those at the grocery store and stuff, right? So it's
Yes.
easier to find.
Yeah, I do a lot of that myself too, like oregano and parsley and the
dry your
staple
own?
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really easy, and they charge a lot for those at the store. I'm like, are you serious? Okay. It's easy to grow a parsley plant, and then you just dry as it's growing, you trim it and trim it and trim it. And yeah. You just have to hang it in a low light, cool, low heat, right? Environment. And they dry right out, and then you just squish them up and throw them in the jar.
Really?
Yeah, it's really easy.
Hmm.
So that's one that. And then you can have those like as little plants in your house or whatever too that look, attractive. And if you're doing spaghetti, you can just trim it right there and have fresh in there.
Have you been looking in my windows?
No, but
My wife has a little herb garden. But we haven't tried to dry them yet. I keep telling her to try to dry them.
Yeah. When they're outside, a lot of times they'll volt. So once that happens, you're
she
SOL.
had that happen this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, parsley usually volts out at some point, and then you got to just pull it.
It was done. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And then chicken base for added flavor, which that's awesome. And you're going to have a lot of sodium there.
Powders and cubes.
Yep, powders and cubes.
Mm-hmm.
We buy a tub of the powder, and so you can just spoon it out, and it's really easy to carry, really small. If you were making them in advance, you just put them in the baggie,
Yeah, we got the beef and chicken broth powdered.
Yeah, because if I buy like a thing of broth, I'll use it for a meal, and then I never like use the rest of it up, and it goes bad, and I'm like, jeez. So this way I can just make my own from the bouillon.
Yep.
And then she recommends adding chia to like all of your baggies and stuff because it's just that source of nutrient. I know, I'm going to get you.
What's chia?
Chia.
You gotta listen to the pre-show.
So, what I make. Oh no, we're not there yet. I can't share that story yet. Okay, stay tuned for later chapters.
We're almost getting her to release this stuff, guys. Almost. I'll keep working on her.
I know it's all your fault too, because I'm really good when I don't have somebody to talk to about the book.
Distract you.
Yep. I'll be like, nope. Beep. I'll just beep it out of the audio. Beep. All right, so we talked about how to craft them, considering the calorie per ounce.
Yep.
Will it stay fresh? So make sure it's something that doesn't need to be refrigerated. Will it cook in water? And will it taste good? So don't just like throw things together that are,
What about packing? I thought about this too. Multivitamins.
Yes, I
to help
actually I skipped
offset
over. I
nutrients in the
must have
food?
skipped that
Yep.
one because I know I wrote it down. Yeah, it's a
Well,
killer
that's
egg.
what I'm here for.
Yep,
Keep you looking good.
that's right. Whoop. Protein powder as well.
Yep.
So like powdered meals, you can do those, and that's just as good. But yeah, the vitamins, and I've been delving in a lot more into making my own vitamins because my friend's doing it. So
Really?
yeah,
How do you do that?
she like takes orange peel and will dry it out, grind
For
that
vitamin
up.
C?
Yep, vitamin C. Eggshells she uses, and then she buys like actual supplement ingredients. I did an episode on it.
Eggshells for calcium?
Yep, and there's some more good stuff in there as well. I can't remember it all off the top of my head, but I did a show on it, and there's a place that tests out products, so you can like whatever product you're looking at buying, you can check it by this website, and they actually have an independent lab where they'll do the nutritional studies on the product to make sure you're actually getting what they say you're getting, right?
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm about to squirrel off on you right now. Squirrel. Because like how much of our so many of our pharmaceuticals are produced in China now. Like pretty much all of what Americans take medically is produced in China. And so how do you know? Are they really checking every pill that comes?
Yes.
Right? Oh, yeah. Yes, they are. It's all what they say. So I don't know. I don't take any Western medicines, but I'm very leery because of those kinds of things. So
Well, that's bad for a whole bunch of reasons.
right? Not only are we not producing things,
Yes.
but now our medical
Major.
reliance is on China.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a vulnerability that is not good at all.
See, it's two major foes we have boiling up on us right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And they control our medical. And that's like one of the things when we talk about a collapse, one of like the mega problems would be the lack, so many people are reliant upon medications right now. And if you stop that supply, that's going to get really yucky really fast.
That's going to be a big issue
Mm-hmm.
if things go bad.
That's why I'm always encouraging people, like if you're on a Western medicine, I'm not saying don't take that medicine, but try and find like a natural something that can replace that. And then you can grow it and be self-reliant for your medicines as well.
Yeah, try to work with the right people to figure out how you can get off of medicine if it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kat Ellis is really good at that stuff. Really good. Also, oh, come on. Nicole Appelian.
Yeah, Nicole.
Yep. So she's really, really good at that as well.
She's a neat lady.
Yeah, she is a really cool lady. I really enjoyed my interview with her. And then she sent out like some first aid salve and some. Ooh, we should have her on the show for the first aid salve episode.
You should.
Right?
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she's fun. And also some arthritis cream for Brock, and it was very effective. So good stuff. She's got good stuff over there.
I know she's got MS, right?
Yes, she does.
And what she's done, even with that, it's amazing. I mean, amazing.
Through self-heal and natural food.
Yep.
Exactly. So, I mean, you really can conquer anything. You got to have the right mind, and you have to have the right things in your body. Okay, so getting into how we can apply some of the hiking foods to a survival situation, because we're only going to be able to take so much with us when we walk out the door. So my thought was, when you're hiking, you can prepare like, I'm going to be gone 7 days. For breakfast on day 1, I'm going to eat this. And then lunch, I'm going to eat this. And dinner, I'm going to eat this, right? And they do all individual packages. So it's like, if you were just planning on bugging out long term and or evacuation plan, would it be better to just pack everything kind of bulk? I don't know.
Or, yeah, see, I think this is where the two of us come from different angles, different schools of thought.
Right?
Because I'm kind of the bug out, aiming for a destination, and you seem to be the bug out, get
I'm
out
not
there.
coming back.
And, yeah. See, different. Yeah.
Right?
See, so my school of thought would be I could plan my bug out bag to be basically, I wouldn't get as fancy as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would have meals, right? And if I'm eating spaghetti for breakfast, well, that's fine. I'm eating spaghetti for breakfast.
You can't do that. It's against the law.
Probably could be soon. Don't think about it, because the thought police. But,
fair enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
No, that makes a lot of sense, though.
So for bug out bags and get home bags, you could actually plan your meals for your intended destination.
Yeah. How long is it going to take you to get there?
For like the
extra.
guys like Franklin Horton or Steve Bird that have, when they travel and they have to, they're away from home if something happens and need to get back home. You can plan those meals, right? And have that packed.
Yeah. Yeah,
now,
I like that.
You just got to put some salt and pepper and bow and arrow in a slingshot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about.
Fire starter.
It's like, so you got to learn. So I would learn to supplement whatever I have with me whenever possible.
Yep.
So I've been trained to, as you're walking down the trail, you have your thermos with you and your wild foraging as you go, and you just put it all into your thermos, and then you put the boiling water in there later, and there's your survival stew.
Nice.
And that's what you eat. So I would have especially, so like if you're traveling from one ecosystem into another, have the edibility books, have that on you, like our maps and the atlases, right?
And practice that too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to eat the wrong berry.
No. And preferably, if you can get out with somebody who knows what they're doing, I would take that opportunity hands down every time.
Yes, and use the book as your backup material, not as your primary.
Yes, not as your primary source of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
There's lots of different ecosystems. So you could be traveling, even if you were aiming from point A to point B, you could be traveling through a lot of different ones. So, it's good to know if you have a route planned, know what's in between here and there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then hunting, it provides fresh protein. It's not freeze dried. It's not salted. So, of course, the 22 long is great for that.
Stored on a hoof, right?
Yep. And the rat traps. Yep. Squirrel.
But that will take time. So it depends on.
It depends.
And it would give off odors when cooking.
It would. That is a truth right there. Especially if you're eating something that is very rodent-ish, you got to burn all the fur off and stuff first, because they can carry a lot of yucky.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you were just bedding down they can, seriously. So, but if you're just bedding down for the night, you could put a little bit of peanut butter out on your trap, and you might have a squirrel in the morning. Yeah. Then you can put him into your survival stew and cook him too. And then fishing and egg collecting. So you can always collect eggs along the way as well. Poor little guys, but oh well. So.
Yeah. But that's seasonal too, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yep.
I mean, I know
everything
domestic chickens and stuff is year round almost. But
right.
The egg thing would be a seasonal.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, spring is going to be your plethora time, So that brings me right into my next point. Way to go.
You're welcome.
Learn how to preserve your own stuff. So learn how to dry fruit, meat, veggies, if your time allows. So if you come into a large supply of something, you might want to stay for a couple days to harvest that. And then you can learn how to dry it out. And actually, old vehicles are great for drying out things, you can use them as dehydrators.
Put it on the dashboard.
Mm-hmm. Or in
You
the
got
back.
the little, the
And lately I've been having so many topics of conversations around things that you can do with old vehicles, as far as like stuff you can harvest from them for blacksmithing, stuff you can harvest from them for electronics, stuff like the radiator, you can make a shower out of it, all kinds of these crazy ideas. I'm like, you know what? I think I need an old car just sitting on my property. Like, I'm gonna like plant a flower bed around it or something.
It'd be like a deterrent. Nobody would like, nothing good up there, right?
Right.
And then you use it as your hardware store.
Exactly. You can just harvest so much off those things. I've really been thinking about it, actually. I'm like,
So
just have a tote over here.
All those rednecks with the Chevys up on blocks.
Yep. Maybe not so dumb, huh? I know there's so many things, so we'll have to do an episode on that one day. Alrighty. So the other thing about wild foraging, hunting, fishing, things like that, don't expend more energy than you're going to collect.
Yep, that's why traps.
Yeah, that's why traps is like if you had to build them and stuff, that's why I say just carry some rat traps instead of like having to worry about that stuff.
And the fishing, like you put the line on the branch and
yep, yeah, you can do trout lines in the water.
Trout lines
out there. If you see a blackberry bush across the ravine and you're going to have to, do some serious effort to get over there, it might not be worth it. So, that's a good point. And then remember that other animals might be after the same food you are.
That plays into something else that I made in my little show notes.
Uh-huh.
And they're up for auction if anybody's interested. But the one blog mentioned bear barrels.
Yes.
So depending on where you are, you might need to think about that, right? The sense and are you baiting something into your camp?
It might be good if you were in some circumstances, but don't try and take out a bear with a 22. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So that's something to think about. I don't know that a bear barrel. They showed pictures of it. I don't know. They packed their stuff in it, but
yeah, it looked.
I don't know.
It looked kind of like a gallon container. It looked to me about like a gallon size.
It's like a time capsule kind of.
Yeah, like one you'd bury in the ground. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting too, and I was like, yeah, but how much weight and space does that take up?
Exactly.
You can just hang your stuff from a tree.
But it's something to think about because, like you said, you don't want that quote unquote raccoon to come into your camp in the middle of the night.
Yeah, even squirrels and that. If you leave anything out, then they come in and raid your stuff on the table.
We had a raccoon chew my water container.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
Exactly.
That wouldn't be a good thing.
I had water jugs out. Oh, because I use them for weightlifting. I'll put a hockey stick in between water jugs, and then I can use them for weightlifting at home. And I had left it outside, and the bear took it, and he undid the lid. Like, he took it off nicely and undid the lid and drank it, and then, yeah.
He probably thought it was sweet tea.
Right. Yeah, he also stole, he steals feed bags out of our shed and stuff. Grr. Alrighty, well, that takes care of kind of my thoughts on it. I liked going from the hiking perspective because those people that are engaged in that activity have a lot of research into how to eat nutritionally while you're on the trail.
Yeah, like those people that do the Appalachian Trail, like Georgia to someplace out in New England, that's like up to 6 months to complete that.
Yeah,
and they're thinking about the weight is stupid. If you ever listen to them talk, ounces, they're down to minute ounces.
It makes a big difference.
But that's really something that we could learn from as preppers, right?
Absolutely. And that's
They're
what I
doing
said.
it. They're living it out there on the trail, and we can take that and work it into our lifestyles.
Yep. And apply it. We have the Oregon Trail or whatever that goes up the whole Sierra Nevada.
Yep.
And people do that a lot. And same thing. So I was like, that's a great avenue to think about it from. Also, people that do a lot of motorcycle, like the motorcycle trips.
Yeah.
When they go
Space.
down. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Space. So, and a lot of people are planning on bugging out in motorcycles. So it's not a bad idea. Just smaller. But yeah, that's all I got for us today. I just wanted to add the survival twist on the end because those are things that I, have been trained to think about when I'm on a trail always is what can you forage along the way?
Yeah, good idea.
No.
Shop along the way.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed the episode. Got to give a shout out to the subscribers. Thank you guys for showing your support. We love you and appreciate all the help that you provide to the show. If you'd like to become a supporter, head on over to www.authorSaraFhathaway.com/support. That's www.authorSaraFhathaway.com/support. Any final words?
No, I think we did a lot of good talking tonight.
Put a fork in it. It's done. No
We're
pun
done.
intended.
Time to eat.
That's right. It is time to eat, actually.
Fire up my s'mores.
Oh man, those sound good. You might have to send me the recipe over for that. And I'll throw it in the blog for today. The survival s'mores. It's all glamped out. Survival s'mores.
Everybody's gonna want to evacuate with Chin.
Those are for the preppers that have the bags with the caviar and the Sauvé Mignon. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, remember.
Thank you for joining Sara and Chen for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster, Without Land, The Walls of Freedom, Battle for the South, Dark Days in Denver, and The Endless Night at www.authorSarahFhathaway.com. If you love the Changing Earth series and podcast, become a supporter while you're there. Then head over to iTunes or Amazon and let everyone know by leaving a review.